Have you ever felt something shift so suddenly, that the ground seems to disappear beneath you? Bill Carver knew the feeling of stability, of routine, a good job, a cozy home, and a marriage he'd built over 10 years with the woman he thought he knew inside and out. But all that security would crumble in one unexpected instant, turning an ordinary evening into a nightmare he never saw coming. It was a Thursday night, the kind that felt like 100 others. Bill was making dinner, chopping vegetables while Emma relaxed in the other room, probably scrolling through her phone after a long day. He didn't give it a second thought, until her phone buzzed on the counter beside him. Normally, he wouldn't even glance at it. Bill trusted Emma. But some instinct he couldn't quite explain, made him stop mid-chop. He glanced at the screen, expecting a harmless message from a friend or family member. Instead, he saw something that made his stomach drop. Last night was unforgettable. Can't stop thinking about you. The words seemed to burn off the screen, twisting something deep in his chest. Bill's pulse quickened. Maybe it was a mistake, a wrong number. But then his hands, almost moving on their own, reached for her phone. As he scrolled, each message unfolded like a slap across his face. Playful exchanges, intimate memories, inside jokes he'd never heard before, all with a name he didn't recognize. This wasn't just some passing flirtation. This was an affair, hidden right under his nose. The messages stretched back weeks, months even, and each one felt like another crack in the life he thought he knew. He felt a wave of nausea, his fingers tightening around the countertop as the reality sank in. This wasn't just a moment of weakness. Emma had built an entire world behind his back. Just then, Emma walked into the kitchen, completely unaware that her double life had just been exposed. She looked at him, saw the phone in his hand, and froze, her face turning pale. In that instant, everything was out in the open. No more secrets, no more pretending. Bill looked up, his voice barely his own, raw and edged with anger and disbelief. How long? He asked, his tone cutting through the thick silence. Emma's face crumbled, her eyes shifting with guilt and fear, and he knew that every moment, every word they'd shared in that kitchen, had all been under the shadow of a lie. Bill stood there, his mind spinning, unable to look away from her. The life they had built together, the memories they had made, it all felt tainted. He had one single, crushing realization as he stared at her: how long had he been living in a lie? And in that one brutal instant, the life he thought he knew was gone forever. Bill's words, sharp and brittle, hung heavy in the air. How long? Emma didn't answer, just stood there, her face a mix of guilt and fear, like she was caught in a trap with no way out. The silence stretched, every second amplifying the weight of her betrayal, pressing down on Bill until he felt like he could barely breathe. She finally opened her mouth, but no words came out. A shaky breath, a glance to the floor, and then a soft, broken whisper: "It just happened." Bill's heart pounded, a mix of anger and disbelief tearing through him. Just happened. The weeks, the secret meetings, the lies she told him night after night, was that all supposed to fall under "it just happened"? He felt an urge to shout, to demand answers, to shake some kind of truth out of her that might make this mess make sense. But he couldn't. Not yet. Instead, he felt himself slipping into a strange, numb calm. "What's his name?" he asked, his voice steadier than he felt. She hesitated, then whispered, "Matt." The name hit him like another blow. Matt. Someone who knew his wife better than he had. Someone who'd seen a side of her he hadn't even known existed. All this time, Emma had been building a separate life, one she'd never let him be a part of. Bill couldn't help but wonder if she'd even thought of him while she was with this man, sharing things she'd never bothered to share with him. He walked out of the kitchen, unable to look at her, needing air, needing space. Every room in their home felt wrong now, as if everything he saw was just a reminder of the life they'd built together, now shattered and hollow. He found himself in their bedroom, the place that had once been a sanctuary, now tainted with betrayal. He couldn't sit down, couldn't stay still. His whole body felt like it was buzzing with a mixture of fury, confusion, and heartbreak. Hours passed in silence. Emma lingered in the living room, her shadow visible from where he paced. Every time he saw her face, her guilt only seemed to deepen the pain. How could she stand there, caught in a lie, and not even try to explain herself? Finally, she spoke, her voice so soft it almost got lost in the heavy silence. "Bill, please. I never meant for it to go this far." Her words barely registered. The image of them, the dinners, the whispered promises, the long, late-night talks, played over and over in his mind, like a sick, twisted movie reel. He closed his eyes, feeling the ache of every word, every laugh, every shared secret she'd chosen to give someone else.